Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Last episode, we gathered the frog choir together and did various things around and about Snowhead, and then we came here to Ikana Graveyard, where we learned that the Stalfos, or the Stal children, if we have the captain's hat, will open a different grave for us each day. Here we are here on the night of the final day. And if we talk to these guys, they will indeed crack this grave open for us. Go ahead, lads. Do the dude. Oh, I meant to say do your duty and do the deed. I said at the same time and said do the dude, which has got a very different feel to it, quite frankly. And this takes us to a very different section of Ikana Graveyard. So here, it's all very trippy down here. If I take the mask off, wow, I'll keep the mask on for now, because if we go down here, there is someone down here. But if we talk to him with the mask on, he goes, "They're out! Go away!" Which is not helpful. So we need to talk to him without the mask.
You? What are you? I can't see because it's too bright. You're not a ghost, are you? A fairy? Oh, it was the fairy's light. In that case, it's just perfect. I came here looking for a new throat. Holy fuck, that hurts.
Oh, let's try that again.
I came here looking for the royal family's legendary treasure, but my torch has gone out. I'm sorry, but could you walk in front of me and light the way? Please?
Oh my god, this kills my throat. Oh my god.
You will? In that case, I'll use your light as I walk. Just lead me to the place you think the treasure is buried. I'll even split the treasure with you. I'm counting on you now.
Oh my god. I'm actually crying. Oh, that voice hurt way more than I thought it was going to. Oh my god. I'm gonna die. Oh dear. I'm falling apart. Fucking hell. So. Oh, I actually can't see. My eyes are watering so much. Oh. See, this is the thing about me, ladies and gentlemen. I commit to my craft, I suppose. If you L-target Zante's an island in Greece. Dampe, he will move towards you. And you need to move him towards one of these patches of soft soil. Move him towards it, and when you reach it...
Oh, there's something strange about this spot. You want me to dig here?
And he will do. Oh my god, I really hope he doesn't talk much more.
Nothing's turning up. Take me to another spot.
So, what we're trying to do is... There's actually 3 things we need to find here. So yeah, he's following Tattle's light, which is why we need to L-target him with it. Oh no, that's a Wallmaster! Wallmaster! There we go. That fucking thing. They fall from the ceiling occasionally.
Hey, where'd you go? I wish you'd walk a little slower.
They occasionally fall from the ceiling, and if they grab you, they'll just chuck you outside, and it's mildly irritating. Let's see if he digs up anything here, because we haven't got a great deal of time to do this because you're on the final night, so obviously the world will end relatively soon. It's 8 PM, we've got time. Technically, I think we've got until what counts as about 6 AM on the final morning, because we go by what's called Celtic time in this. So the Celts, the old people of Ireland and Scotland, their days started at sunrise. So none of this starting at midnight stuff we do here nowadays anymore. Oh, look at that. We got a blue fire.
Something strange is here, but it isn't any treasure. Show me another spot.
And we'll move them over here. But it's relatively modern, the idea of the day starting at midnight and then going until next midnight. The Celtic day ran from sunrise until sunrise, which is exactly what this does. The dawn of the first day is at 6 AM, and then the second day starts at 6 PM. At 6 AM again, 6 PM until 6 AM, even though it technically covers 2 days, as in including midnight, it's the day starts at sunrise rather than starting at midday. And so that goes for the final day, like, the moon destroys the world on the dawn of the final day, which is, well, the dawn of the final day but one, which is 6 AM. So, he's unfortunately... not found anything so far, which means we need to bring him upstairs. How do we do that? Is we need to put him onto this platform. And then he'll stay on that platform while we go and press... Well, we didn't even have to press anything. We just let go of him and he'll rise up on it. There are 2 more dirt blocks right up here. And I'm guessing it must be in both of these, because we've checked, I believe, everything on the bottom level. Which is fun. This is completely randomised every time, so there's no... you're telling where it just is where it happens to be. If we bring him over... Come on, man. It's fine. We've only got 8 hours left until the world ends. No problem. So that's the second blue fire. And we need him top down, and I can't remember how to do that. Oh, there we go. Hello. Right, let's lure him successfully then over here. All the ticking clocks in the world, and nothing can prepare you for just how slowly he bloody walks. Now, obviously, this one we need to climb up here to be ready when he gets up here to lure him over to this final bit of dirt, which is where the final thing must be. Unless I've missed one down there somewhere, in which case that's going to be humiliating, because I'm actually not going to be able to do it in time, really. If I don't get in this one, I'm going to have to at least invert, which I hadn't thought about doing, because I didn't think of myself as being on much of a timescale, and yet, here we are. Because that's midnight. So that starts off the timer at the bottom, and starts the fantastic Final Hours music. And I'll let that play a little bit. Please be a thing, or I'm going to have a bad time. There we go. And with 3 blue flames...
It's the leader of the ghosts!
Yes, it's time for a Big Poe. So the Big Poe will charge into you, and then it'll fuck off into the wall, which is really not helpful when we're on such a time scale. Oh my god. This is bad. Everything's gone horrible wrong here. By horrible wrong, I of course mean horribly wrong. That's what we need to do with it. So it'll appear, it'll fire at you, and then it will stop, and at that point you shoot it. And you just gotta repeat it. I really, perhaps, should invert? No, we'll actually be fine. Right, worst case scenario, we're gonna lose a bit of money. That's it. Really, it's not the end of the world. He takes about 6 shots, I believe. And I've got slightly less than 5 minutes to do it, so that's fairly easy. There we go, he's dead. So when you defeat the Big Poe, a chest appears up there, which is what we're actually doing this for, and also the Big Poe's soul is here. If you want, you can grab the Big Poe's soul into a bottle, and this is what I was talking about, losing some money. Because with that grabbed, you've got a Big Poe in a bottle. This might lead to something good, and I will hopefully have enough time to show off exactly what it does lead into. I'm gonna... Not that I'm worried about time or anything, but I'm going to put the bunny hood on, certainly. And let's crack this open. So that gets us a piece of heart, which is our final thing on buried treasure, because that's our final day in Ikana Graveyard. Yeah, if you struggle with the Dampe game at all there, or you don't get it immediately, you do have to either invert or just, do it again. Hey, that one there. Still the case. That has 50 quid in it, which is pretty neat. Now, there's one final thing I want to actually show before heading back to Clocktown, banking stuff and inverting, which is, if you remember, there is what's stopping us from getting into Ikana Canyon, because we're going to be dealing with that this episode. So I'm going to show that briefly. We've got 4 minutes. We've got banks of time. I'm being real ballsy. Oh, these are a new enemy, big blue bubbles. If you touch them, they will curse you and you can't use your sword. But yes, there's this bloke up here. And what he says to us, he said this already, so I'm not going to read his voice, but he says, "If you must enter, then you must obtain the mask containing a wandering spirit. Near the ranch are a pair of men with the mask of an Ikana ninja. Men of poor character who commit evil deeds. Find them. Without that mask, you cannot help the spirits of Ikana. Without it, you cannot save their souls. Until it is in your possession, I will not let you pass by here." Cool. So that's what we need in order to actually proceed, and that's what we're going to be doing on the next cycle. Let's just head back to Clocktown quickly and see if we can do something with that Poe in the next 3 minutes. So I'll meet you at West Clocktown. Weirdly, if we talk to this guard here, he'll say, "Are you alone? Aren't your parents somewhere still in town? Well, whatever you do, you'd better get as far away from here as you can. And there are still people lingering in the stores. If only an evacuation notice had been posted, I'd be able to force them all to leave." God, with the whole COVID thing, this really does still hammer home, doesn't it? But this shop here is of interest to us. This is the Curiosity Shop. And they will buy and sell random shit. If we go up to this guy, he doesn't speak to anyone wearing a mask. If we talk to him, we can sell this big Poe, and that's the deal with it. Oh, by the way, this guy sells a big bomb bag. That's worth remembering for later. But for now, we've already got a big bomb bag, but it's still worthwhile. But yes, if we sell him our big Poe, it's the only use of big Poes, other than one very specific use we'll get to next episode. It'll give you 200 rupees, which is pretty handy. And that gives us then a very limited amount of time to get that money to the bank and do the old Song of Time. But yes, the man from the curiosity shop, a shady guy who sells stolen goods. His curiosity shop is only open at nights. We will be dealing with that more over the remainder of the game. But yeah, what the guard was saying there about like, oh, if only there was a notice to evacuate, then I could get people to leave, all seems very pertinent and kind of hammers home how horrifying this whole situation really is. Anyway, with that, I'm going to deposit our remaining money here and then head back to the dawn of the first day. And I will see you actually at Milk Road, specifically on the dawn of the first day. That's not the Song of Time. So, our goal is here at the Gorman Ranch, because as the Ghost Bloke said, there are two men of poor character who have the mask that we require. And what we need to do additionally is summon our horse here. There we go. And now time for my terrible southern accent to re-emerge. This is I am in particularly redneck mode for this though. Is that pathetic thing your horse? Had to guess that little thing was a mule for sure, ain't that right, little brother? Do you think a horse that pathetic could even gallop if you were to slide forward, and would it run faster if you pressed A? I know the controls my own horse, thank you. This guy's funny. Why don't you pony up 10 rupees for the chance to race against us? If you win, we'll give you something nice, kid. It's a simple race, just go once around the track. If you can beat us around the finish line, you win. You ready? So this can be surprisingly difficult. As ever, you have your carrots with Epona. Keep an eye on them. You want to use most of them, but actually then let them regenerate before you use them all up. So now wait, I would say. There are gates around the place that you'll... So basically, you can try and block them. That's one thing there. There's gates around the place that you will jump if you approach with a boost in hand. Those are almost always worth going for because you actually do get a speed boost for them. Like, you'll see if I approach this one right, and I boost just before it, you actually go faster for going over it than you potentially would if you were to go around. Oh, I've cocked it here, damn it. I'm ahead of them, but unfortunately all my boost is gone, so I'm having to wait for that all to regenerate, and it takes so long. Oh, and you've got those little ditches you jump over here too. Here on this final section, you've got 3 fences, and if you use these in quick succession, you should be alright, and I may just beat them. There we go. It's always surprisingly close to the Gorman race, to be honest. I can't believe we lost. Big bro, we gotta give him something nice. Ugh. We gotta give him something. I got it. We'll give him the ninja mask. It'll be a nice toy, sonny. You can pretend you're on a big adventure. And he gives us the Garrow's mask. A wandering ninja spirit from Ikana is housed within. In exchange, you can't tell anyone where you got this, because you've been using it to commit crimes, as we know. And that concludes a race near Milk Road. Wonderful. You rubbed the Gorman Brothers' noses in it. This was added to your notebook. So, with that, we will equip the Garrow's mask and head over to the entrance to Ikana. So, here, now we have the mask, we can, of course, put it on. And, oh, Ghost Bloke's going to give his usual rant to us here. So, if we put on the Garrow's mask... That's a nice mask you're wearing. That is the mask of the leader of the ninjas who once spied on the hilltop castle with a blood-stained history. With that, you may be able to call out their spirits that even now are wandering. Perhaps you may be able to save the souls that wander beyond here. So with that, he makes a tree appear and he promptly disappears. Don't worry, it's not the last we've seen of him nor heard of that accent. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you stand on that. But we can grapple up to that thing. And now, here we go into a new area with a weird new enemy. This is a Nejiron. Don't get too close to it. It smells like gunpowder. Indeed, Nejirons will charge at you. And then if they hit you, they'll blow the fuck up. There we go. If you hit them, I suppose you blow up. I'm going to, because obviously we can't get a Pona up here, so I'm going to put the old bunny hood on. We don't need the Garrow's mask on for now. We actually... There are... Oh, yeah, fuck. Freaking... evil Gorons. There are advantages to the Gyro's Mask, but they are relatively few, and we won't be using it a huge deal, let's say. Anyway. Welcome to the amazingly creepy Ikana Canyon. There's this guy running around. Remember him? The fucking child catcher from the first day who robs the old woman? Hey, that's a nice sword you have. You know, lately frightening ghosts have been appearing in swarms in Ikana village across the river. It seems they're the ghost of Ikana's royal family or something. There's no one living there anymore, so I moved nearby. Now there's only one curious parent and child living there while they research the ghosts. Did I mention that is one nice sword? Can I see it for a second? Fuck off. Oh, fine. So, welcome to Ikana Canyon. That's Ikana Castle up here. There behind you can see the stone tower, and then Ikana village is across the way. How do we actually get over there? Well, notice there are Octoroks here. Octoroks, if you remember from Great Bay Temple, are nice and blue and sparkly and have a very useful ability, at least as far as we're concerned. Not very useful for them or, evolution, but generally speaking, for us, damn handy, because you can turn them into ice blocks and cross here. So once again, like with Snowhead and like with Great Bay, well, Snowhead's different, I suppose, but for Great Bay, for Great Bay's different even, but for Snowhead, you can access it once you've got the fire arrows. You don't necessarily have to have beaten that temple, you just have to get the fire arrows. And likewise here, you don't have to have beaten Great Bay Temple, but you need to have had the ice arrows to get up here to Ikana itself. Oh, very handy. So, let's get first off the old owl statue. And we'll save our progress, why not? And now you'll find Tingle, don't worry, he's nearby. And we can get the map of Ikana, well, Stone Tower he calls it, which is our final map in the game. You have no idea how pleased I am to be done with Tingle full stop. But yes, we got a map of Stone Tower. So one thing I want to show off briefly is what the Gyro Mask actually does. In certain areas, if we walk around, Tackle will suddenly call you. Here we go, and she says,
I can't see it, but I sense there's a thirst for blood looming all around us. Don't you have a mask that can summon the unseen?
And indeed, if we put the Gyro's mask on, walk around a little bit. Master, you called? What are you? And this will attack us. Oh, the bugging, blah. So this is a Gyro. Just concentrate on blocking and dodging those sharp swords. What you need to do is wait for it to attack you with your shield up, and it will drop its swords. At that point, kill it. Oh, he's fucked off way past there. Let's do the same again then. Regrettable. Although you are my rival, you were spectacular. I shall take my final bow by opening my heart and revealing my wisdom. If one tries to enter the spring water cave without knowing the song buried in a grave that rhymes, that poor visitor will meet with disaster. Belief or disbelief rests with you. To die without leaving a corpse, that is the way of the Gyro. So if you remember what the ghost bloke said, the Gyro were ninjas who were spying on Ikana Castle, and so they know a lot of information on the place. If you're ever a bit lost or disorientated in Ikana Canyon, put the Gyro mask on whenever Tattle says something, and if you defeat the Gyro, you will get some useful information. Mostly I won't be doing it because it's not particularly useful to have for me, because I know what I'm doing. Things of interest here. So there's Ikana Castle over there. There's the entrance to Stone Tower here, and here there is this music box house is being surrounded by these things. As Tattle says, it's a Gibdo. You won't be able to move if it glares at you, so be careful. Got it? Indeed, if they see you, they freeze you. And I don't want anything to do with that, so I'm just going to leave them alone. They're orbiting that house, which is important, and we'll get to that in a bit. For now, though, what we actually want to do is come up here to this building here, this one with that very handy signpost outside it. Also, note that there is a riverbed here, which goes down past that water wheel and down into the canyon, but it is dry. Comes from that cave, though. Think about what the Gyro said, he might be able to put all of this together. This here, however, is the Spirit House. We've prepared wandering spirits and are awaiting your arrival. Well, it's this bloke again.
Ikana Kingdom was founded on this land, stained with a history of darkness and drenched in blood. Even now, it's a place where troubled, regretful spirits gather. If you are seeking the one who is stronger than you are, you may find strength here. For a group of spirits plagued by lingering regrets, If you have faith in your skills and might, then try saving these wandering spirits. But the earthly price you must pay is 30 quid.
So, we'll do it.
You are a boy of much vigor. Defeat the ladies within the time limit and rest their souls in peace. But if your life energy drops to 3 hearts or below, I'll stop the match. Mercy is the least I can offer.
So, we have to fight against 4 mini-bosses from Ocarina of Time originally. So these are the 4 Poe sisters. We start off with Amy. She'll attack us, and we just need to block and wait until she turns visible. There we go, there's your moment. Single jump attack should do her in. And now it throws you a bit of a curveball. You've got 3 minutes to do this, by the way. The next 2, Beth and Joelle, turn up at the same time. What you need to do here is, seriously, don't bother L-targeting, because if you're focusing on one, the other one will always catch you off guard. Wait until one appears and just slash it manually, and then shift your focus to the other one, but not your L-targeting. I learned something recently. I learned what these things are named after. There's 4 Poe sisters called Amy, Meg, Beth, and Joelle. Final one here, by the way, this is Meg. She's slightly different, because if you need to basically, well, you'll see. She'll appear around you, and 4 of them appear, then one of them does a twirl, and you need to hit the real one, and the real one is the one that did a twirl. I never put this together until, December time? After recording Ocarina of Time, before recording this, I was in the cinema. I was watching a film. Film about 4 sisters. Famous American book. It's been adapted multiple times. It's called Little Women. You've probably heard of it. And I noticed the 4 sisters in Little Women. Amy, Beth, Jo, and Meg. And I looked it up and it's like, no, literally, the 4 Poe sisters are named in English. Absolutely, it is a reference to Little Women. And I never knew that. But there you go. The things you learn.
By the way, it's a fairly easy way. It seems their souls have been healed by me beating the shit out of them somehow. I give you the earthly position which the ladies kept. Take it, Doctor.
How does he know my name?
That is your name, correct? Oh, there we go. I can read people's hearts. I knew you would be coming here. Now my own soul has been healed too. With that, off I fuck.
And that gives us Free the Canyon Ghosts, which we completed. It's always slightly weird that it usually gives you entries in one and then clears them, rather than starting that when you first speak to him and then clearing it. But hey, there you go. Well, he fucks off. We're done with him. And now we're going to do something we've not done for quite some time. We're going to do the whole Moon's Tear sequence. Do you remember the Moon's Tear sequence? We get a Moon's Tear, we trade it to your man in the land, we get the town title deed from him outside of the clock tower, and then we can do other things with that. And we're going to finish that whole title sequence, that whole trading sequence. But for now, I want to get the Moon's Tear and trade it to the bloke in the centre of Clocktown for the town title deed. So, when we did this on the first night, we could then use this Deku Scrub launch point to get up to a heart piece there and get into the clock tower itself. Obviously, we have no need for that for now, but now it starts off a bit of a sequence. And it's worth noting, everything in this sequence, to get all of the goodies from it, you have to do it all in one cycle. And we've only now got the ability to do the entire quest in one cycle, so that's why I hadn't really done it to now. You could do it like piecemeal up until now, but I really just thought it wasn't worth showing that off until I can show the whole thing off. Anyway, you'll notice we have gone to the Southern Swamp. And basically we have to do a series of trades with scrubs. And the first one is here. He is up to the left here, next to the Swamp Tourist Centre. And they all say a similar kind of spiel, but actually I want to talk to him first as a scrub, because I actually want to buy something off him, which will be handy for us in a bit. He'll sell us a magic bean for 10 rupees, that's often the case, easier than getting to the bean seller in the basement of the Deku Palace. Talk to him back as a human, and we can do him a bit of a trade, where he says, I'm hoping to find some success in a livelier place. To open a business in another place, you have to go through the proper channels first. Do you know what I mean? And he'll ask you for an item. At this point, we can trade him our town title deed. Sorry, I keep nearly calling it the land title deed, because that's what it was called in the original version. And we can trade him that. And he says, oh, that's a town title deed. I wish you'd let me have that. I'll give you this land in return. Deal? You don't even get to say yes or no to it, but you get the swamp title deed. We get the next level of business scrub scramble, which we've had since like the beginning of the game, so it's cool to see again. Actually updating, you know. And then off he fucks. And this is a repeating process we'll see over another 3 successive areas. But the nice thing about it is once he buggers off, we can use his flower as our own. And this, we can hop up onto the roof with it, and it doesn't look like you're... What the fuck? Did I not hold A long enough? It looks like you don't make it, but you do. And you can grab a piece of heart from the roof. And now we've got the swamp title deed. And someone wants that somewhere, so try and think of the next place we saw a Deku Scrub. If you can't, I'll meet you in Goron Village. So down here at the edge of Goron Village, you can of course see this scrub. He sold us a bomb bag back in the day, and now he will say... Oh, did he say something racist, is it? Yes, he'll only deal with us as a Goron, so if we Goron up, then he'll say, you got the offer, and we're not interested in the offer. Do I have to talk to him as a scrub? Is that it? I'm appears to be... Oh, that's alarming. God, that is very alarming. There we go. What I'd like to do is go back home and do business where I'm surrounded by trees and grass. But I can't open a business back home without following the proper procedures. Do you know what I mean? We do know what you mean. Here's a swamp title deed. And he will, of course, say the same as the last one. I'll give you this land in exchange. We get the mountain title deed. We update business scrub scramble. And off he fucks back to the swamp. And we're, of course, left with his flower, which we can use to hop up here and get a heart piece. You're starting to see how this goes. Next, let's soar over to... not Zora's Domain, whatever they call it in this. Zora Hall. So I did point this guy out briefly, but you may have forgotten where he was as well. I point out all but one of these scrubs as we've gone by them anyway. We need to go into Lulu's room, and since we've reset time, this guy is still perving on the outside. He won't respond to anyone except Azora, and then he freaks out and runs off. But literally inside Lulu's room is this scrub. And weirdly, if we talk to him, he says... Thanks for stopping by. I'm doing business with the folks on Zoras. That makes you a potential customer. Is this your room? I'm awfully sensitive to the sea breeze, so I'm sorry, but I'd like you to rent this room to me. But my, this is a messy room. Did something happen in here? Well, I can't really do anything about it. He'll sell us a green potion, and I guess it's messy because pirates came here and ransacked it. It's also not messy at all. It's actually quite nice. But, weirdly enough, this guy will only trade with you if you speak to him as a Goron. And he basically says, actually, I'd like to do some place where it's cooler and the air is clean. But to open a business in another place, you have to go through the proper channels. I guess it's because he's moving to the Goron area, so you need to speak to him as a Goron. In order for him to think you might have a mountain title deed. Anyway, as you know, this goes the same way. You get the ocean title deed, update business scrub scramble, he flies off into the distance. And we're left here with his flower, which we can use to hop up and grab ourselves a third heart piece. You get 5 heart pieces from this whole quest line. 6 if you count the one you get on the clock town the first night, so it's pretty handy. And of course now we have one more place to go, which we've not been to before. So let's head to Ikana Canyon. And to get to the right area, we actually need to be a Zora. Oh god. Oh, that's alarming. Oh, I hate that and everything about it. We need to get down into the river. Fun fact, if you follow this river along, it will take you straight to Magic Hags. This river connects to that waterfall in the Southern Swamp. We actually don't want to follow the river as such, but we do want to be a Zora because this seems to be... Oh, Garrow there, by the way. The way this whole quest line works is we have to be a Zora to offer a title deed from the what's it called, ocean to this scrub. So yes, you've seen this all before a billion times, so I'll put it on super duper speeder. Yeah, you'll notice he paid us 200 quid, which is pretty cool, and that's almost the end of the quest line. We've just got 2 things to show off here. One is this. Sakon's hideout. That's the thief running around outside like the child catcher. Equipped with walls that can withstand any explosion. Protected by impenetrable internal security. We'll be dealing with that later. For now, since we have again access to this thing... Ooh, that's also quite an alarming image. Now we have access to this flower, we can also hop across here. And this gets us not only a heart piece, but a freak it out. There we go, it's back now. Gossip Stone, which gives us some rather interesting advice. If we put on the Mask of Truth that lets us speak to Gossip Stones, this one's quite unusual. If we talk to it, it says... The Fierce Deity's Mask, a mask that contains the merits of all masks, seems to be somewhere in this world. And that's an interesting hint, and we'll deal with that much later in the game, but just bear that in mind for now. This is what I was talking about, by the way. If we follow this river along... Then it delivers us straight to Magic Hags, and if you look at kind of the world map, as I saw back to Clocktown, you will see that the Ikana and the Southern Swan do connect in that way, so it does kind of make sense. It's the same way that Gerudo River leads to the Lake Hylia in Ocarina of Time. Then you can see that river literally physically connects. Anyway, I want to get back to Clocktown, and do you remember, speaking of Sakon the Thief in his hideout, do you remember Sakon mugs that old woman on the first night in North Clocktown? We need to stop that from happening. For a different reason to last time, but we need to make sure that happens again before we can do something particularly useful. So this goes down pretty much exactly as we saw it on the first day. It wasn't the first episode, it was like the second or third episode or something like that. Child catcher grabs the bag, we stab him, he drops it, and she says, "Thank you, since you didn't make off with them, I can finally stock big bomb bags in our shop. Maybe I'll put them out tomorrow." Last time we just bought those big bomb bags. This time let's start something slightly different, which we'll deal with in just a second. We actually now need to return to the Astral Observatory. What I'm about to do, you can only do if you don't have to have completed Deco Scrub Scramble, but you have to have Business Scrub Scramble even, but you have to have started the beginning of it. You have to have at least got the town title deed and be at that stage of it. So let's head over to the Astral Observatory. So here, if we gaze into the telescope, we'll see something interesting. Look at that. It's a business scrub. So, oh, shit, that wasn't the zoom out button at all. So this is the guy we bought the land... every time I'm going to call it that. This is the guy we bought the town title deed off. We saw him fuck off, and here's where he went. Granted, it's been several hours since then in game time, but he comes real disturbingly close to the telescope, and then he basically orbits around for a while. Speeder on, please. And this is the important thing. You see him disappear into that hole. You have to watch him do it. If you go into that hole, nothing will happen. You need to have got the quest to follow that scrub, which you only get from literally watching him descend into that hole manually. A lot of people get that wrong. If we head outside... apparently it's not quite time yet, so if we can plant a bean here. And you can do one of two things here. You can fast forward to about 7 AM on the second day when it will start raining, and that thing will grow. Or you can make your own rain. Make it rain! And it'll grow immediately. No more carrying around spring water anymore. We can use that then to hop over the wall here and head down into this cave that we saw. And indeed, there he is, cowering in the corner, and he goes, "Nah! What are you doing here? This is my secret storage unit. It's a problem if you come in here without permission. Please, I'll sell you a piece of heart if you just keep this place a secret. 150 rupees for one." "I don't think so, Sonny Jim." "Huh, no good? In that case, you leave me no choice. What about 100 rupees? And there we go, our 5th piece of heart from the Business Scrub Scramble, because this is all part of it. So you get one from the town guy, one from the swamp guy, one from the mountain guy, one from the ocean guy, one from the canyon guy, and one from this guy again. So it's really, it's a thick quest in terms of what it gives out. Thick with a double C. With that done, we've only got one more thing to do. So yeah, if you say no the first time, he will reduce the price to 100, but he won't reduce it further. If you say no, he'll just say, "I don't need business from cheapskates, get out!" So he gets that reference. Why is he flying off so slowly? But the final thing we need to do this episode is, do you remember when we went to the curiosity shop at the end of last episode? We sold our big Poe there. When we did so, they were selling a big bomb bag. The curiosity shop is run by thieves. If Sakon the Thief steals the big bomb bag from the old lady on the first night, then the curiosity shop will be selling it on the second and third nights. If you stop that from happening, which we did, then the curiosity shop on the final night will be selling something rather different. So in order to do what we're about to do, you have to have stopped that mugging from going ahead, and instead they are selling... Well, we need to fast forward, obviously, to the night of the final day. At 10 PM specifically, so it's right at the end of the night. And we need to have withdrawn 500 quid, because it's real expensive, which is why I haven't got it before now, because we need to have got the giant wallet from the Skulltula house in the ocean in order to actually even buy the damn thing. So we find on the night of the final day they're selling this horrifying thing. Tonight's bargain is the all-night mask for use at bedtime. I forget when this was made, but it sure is a freaky mask, see? He's not wrong. When you put it on, you can try to fall asleep, but you won't be able to. Pretty creepy, huh? It's because it's that fucking thing from Clockwork Orange. So if we check the bargain, the all-night mask costs 500 quid. You won't get sleepy if you wear this mask. You got the all-night mask. Apparently it won't let you drift off to sleep. They're really hammering that home. And so that crosses off Jurassic Shop Rarity. So that's only available if they don't already have bomb bags to sell. So you need to have stopped the mugging on the first night for that. And just to make that mask even creepier, if we look at its description here, a mask that stops you from falling asleep even if you badly want to. They say it was made for torture. Holy fuck. Like literally, if we put it on, then you'll see. It's really fucked up. Kids game. That's what this is. This is a kids game. Ugh. Anyway, we'll hold it there for this episode, possibly because this may have been a long one, I don't know. These like in-between episodes where I'm doing a lot of random stuff tend to run a bit longer, but also I just tend to be terrible estimating how long they last, so we'll find out, I suppose. Thank you very much for watching. We've explored around Ikana Graveyard a bit more, and Ikana Canyon as a whole. Next episode, we're actually going to be doing a fair bit of side stuff. We are going to be doing some stuff in Ikana, but it's mostly, I think it's going to be half and half. Some side stuff, some Ikana stuff. So, hope you'll join me next time when, obviously, we're gonna hop forward a bit because, well, hop back a bit because we're about to die here in like 6 hours. So, hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day. Oh, spooky.